The cameras flashed. The crowd just sort of paused. For almost 2 decades, they were this industry paradox, you know?
Yeah, a country music giant and a Hollywood icon, held together by this very public, very intense devotion.
And then the foundation just cracked, and the whole split became this study in contrasts.
Well, what came next wasn't just a breakup. It was a high-stakes, almost military-time separation.
Right.
And the core of the story, the thing we're really unpacking today, is all right there in that one headline. Rumors rise as Kidman wins stability.
Welcome to StarScope Report. We uncover the Hollywood drama, the music industry shakeups, and all the viral scandals. We dive deep into the stories behind the fame.
Today, we're going to walk you through the calculated legal moves that got Nicole Kidman this huge custody win.
And then we'll pivot to the chaotic rumors around Keith Urban that exploded right after.
You'll see one side building these legal walls and the other seemingly tearing down their own story.
Okay, let's get right into the timeline, because this was anything but spontaneous.
Not at all.
We're calling this first part the $400 million timeline, acquiring control of the narrative. Because when the news broke, everyone thought it was so sudden.
But the documents, they tell a totally different story. It's all about planning.
So the private decision to separate, that actually began way back in June of 2025.
That's right. And here's a key detail for, the emotional side of it.
Mm-hmm.
It was Keith Urban who initiated it.
While he was on tour.
While he was on tour. And this was despite insiders saying Nicole Kidman was really hoping to save the marriage.
So right away, the split is tied to his career, the very thing that was always seen as the big pressure point.
Exactly. But this is where Kidman's team really makes their move.
Okay.
While everyone else thinks things are fine, the core legal agreements, the divorce, the parenting plan, all of it were finalized and notarized by mid-August.
Mid-August. So the contracts were written and signed before we even knew there was a problem.
The ink was dry. Urban notarized his part on the road. Kidman signed a few days later. And then she just held it.
She held the filing. She didn't file the official petition until September 30th.
Months after everything was locked down. And that delay, that's so strategic.
It's a total power move.
It is. By holding that filing date, her team completely controlled the launch of the narrative. When the news hit, they weren't scrambling. They were just presenting facts that were already signed, sealed, and delivered.
So it wasn't a messy breakup playing out in real time.
No, it was more like a corporate dissolution, very managed.
And the official reason they gave?
For irreconcilable differences, which is, totally standard. It's a legal shield.
It stops them from having to air dirty laundry in court.
Exactly. And then sources fill in the blanks with the less emotional reason. Conflicting career schedules. It keeps it structural, not personal.
It's all about insulation. Yeah. And that structural approach applied to the money, too.
Oh, big time. The settlement had this really rare outcome for such a high-asset couple.
No alimony.
No alimony or spousal support for either of them. After 19 years of marriage, with a net worth around $400 million, no alimony is. It's unusual. It just proves how comprehensive that asset division was before anyone knew.
It shows they just wanted a clean transactional separation.
Right. But a huge concession, like no spousal support, that usually buys you something just as valuable on the other side.
And in this case, it bought stability for their kids.
Absolute stability. But the actual custody arrangement, the numbers are just staggering.
Okay, if you think that timeline is shocking, you will not believe the ratio of time the children will spend with each parent. And that's not even the wildest part of the legal documents.
Not even close.
If you're loving these Hollywood twists, make sure you're subscribed. We've got even crazier stories ahead.
All right, let's get into the cornerstone of Kidman's win. We're calling this 306 versus 59, the jaw-dropping custody arrangement.
This is really the legal centerpiece, isn't it?
It is. The numbers are just so high boundary. Nicole Kidman was designated the primary residential parent for 306 days a year.
306, that's what, 84% of the year?
Roughly, yeah, 84%.
And Keith Urban gets?
59 days, usually alternating weekends, if and when he can manage them around his schedule.
That is a massive imbalance for a couple that was together for so long.
It is, but it legally formalizes the reality of his, quote, extensive and necessary touring schedule.
So he traded time for the clean financial break.
It's the ultimate transactional trade-off. He got the asset division he wanted, and she got the custody. The career that ended the marriage literally dictated the parenting plan.
But it seems like the lawyers must have seen trouble coming.
Oh, for sure. The settlement went way beyond just scheduling days.
What else is in there?
Mandatory parenting courses for both of them. That's pretty standard when you expect conflict. But also, really strict, legally binding clauses that they cannot speak negatively about each other.
Wow. So a legal muzzle.
Yeah.
After almost 20 years together, they needed a contract to keep them
from publicly attacking each other.
Yeah.
And sources said Kidman felt betrayed and hurt, so you can see why her team would want that protection.
These are basically structural defenses. They're policing their interactions to protect the kids.
Exactly. Even if the emotional part failed, the legal part would prevent a public smear campaign.
And while all this was happening behind the scenes, Kidman's public strategy was just a masterclass in dignified resilience.
Totally. She was very open about her coping strategies, saying, no matter how painful it is, there's a way through. You have to feel it.
Right. Move gently and slowly, and it passes.
And then she showed everyone what that looked like. Her first big appearance after the split.
The Thanksgiving turkey trot.
The Boulevard Bolt 2025 in Nashville.
Right.
With her daughters, her sister, her brother-in-law. It was the picture of normalcy and strength.
A turkey trot is such a deliberate choice. It's community, it's family, it's not hiding, it's moving forward.
And then professionally, she was filming Practical Magic 2 in London, and she talked about feeling protected and loved by her castmates, like Sandra Bullock and Maisie Williams.
And through all of it, she said nothing about the rumors swirling around Keith.
Not a word. She stuck to those court-mandated clauses perfectly.
So she built the structure and enforced her stability. But while she was doing that, Urban's personal transition was becoming very visible.
Dangerously visible. And that's where the legal structure and the public scandal just collided head-on.
Stay tuned and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss what's coming next, because we have to talk about the young women at the center of the controversy and the lyric change that shocked country music fans.
Okay, so this is where the Queen structural narrative gets really messy. The headline here has to be The Tour Crisis. Keith Urban's immediate transition.
The irony is just you can't miss it. His touring was the neutral reason for the divorce.
And that very same environment became the source of all the rumors. Sources in Nashville were saying his new relationship was an open secret long before Kidman even filed the papers in September.
And the speculation was focused on two very young colleagues on his tour.
Two 25-year-old colleagues, yeah. Karley Scott Collins, who was an opening act, and Maggie Baugh, a violinist and utility player in his band.
And the 33-year age gap, I mean, the media latched onto that immediately.
Of course. So let's look at the public hints. Case A is Karley Scott Collins. In July 2025, right in the middle of their private separation, a photo pops up online of Urban and Collins with their arms around each other. So that plants the first seed.
Months before the divorce is public.
Right. Then, fast forward to October, after it's all official, they do this onstage duet of his huge romantic hit, We Were Us.
Oof.
And Collins posts about it, captioning the photo, "Is this real life? Someone pinch me." That kind of public intimacy right after a split, it just fuels the idea that this was all connected.
That professional life and personal life were bleeding into each other.
Exactly. But the real PR disaster came from Case B. Maggie Baugh.
Right. And to get this, you have to understand his song, The Fighter.
Yes. Urban had said over and over that song was inspired by his loyalty to Nicole. He literally called it like a vow.
It was their song.
Yeah.
It was a symbol of their public commitment.
It was. And he publicly broke that symbol. During a show in Las Vegas, he changed the lyric.
I still can't believe this.
Instead of singing, "Baby, I'll be the fighter," he sang,
"Maggie, I'll be your guitar player," while pointing at her on stage.
While pointing directly at her. That one move, that lyric change, it did more damage to the amicable split story than any anonymous source ever could.
It's just so blatant. It completely undermined everything Kidman was quietly trying to build.
It did. The perception it created was one of emotional carelessness, like he was moving on very publicly inside his own workplace.
No, to be fair, we do have to add the counterpoint here.
Right.
Another country singer, Alexandra Kay, she jumped online and dismissed the rumors about Maggie Baugh, saying Baugh has a boyfriend.
And that's important context. But in the court of public opinion, the perception created by Urban's actions, the photo, the duet, the lyric change, that's what dominated.
So Kidman's strategy was silence. And Urban's actions, whether intentional or not, just created chaos.
It's the full picture. She bought the structure, the custody, the clean financials, the legal silence.
And he He secured the scandal. A very public, messy transition tied directly to the career that supposedly caused the breakup.
It's the ultimate duality of a modern celebrity divorce. The legal framework protected their assets and gave their kids a stable home.
But the emotional narrative, played out live on a Vegas stage, just completely fell apart.
Yeah.
The story started with rumors rise as Kidman wins stability. So what's the final takeaway here? What did this teach us?
I think it shows that, yes, structural stability can be bought. It can be enforced with meticulous legal contracts, the 3659 split, the non-disparagement clauses, and they're proof of that. But, and this is the really provocative thought, even the tightest legal framework in the world can't fully police public perception. Kidman bought the structure, but Urban's very visible choices put the stability of that whole arrangement under immediate pressure.
So can the law ever truly shield you from the consequences of a public emotional spectacle? That's something for you to think about.
Indeed.
You've been listening to StarScope Report, where Jordan and Jamie uncover the stories shaping Hollywood, music, and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.